Welcome all soldiers to the Fantasy Football War Council's podcast. Here are your co-hosts, Jonathan Arneson and Daniel Gutierrez.
Hello and welcome back, soldiers, to another episode of the Fantasy Football War Council. I'm your host, Jonathan, and joined with me is one of my best friends and co-host, Daniel. Daniel, how are you doing today?
Good evening. I am fantastic. Starting, week 2 of the NFL season. It's football season. It's Christmas every day.
I love it. It is awesome. I mean, this is the best time of the year, right?
It is the best time of year. Not only do we get to do our podcast, but we get to talk trash just about every day and research and read about football with actual news rolling in every day. So it's absolutely fantastic.
And we have plenty of the trash talking to come today. So
That's right. In today's fun-filled episode, we'll be going into each competition, each matchup of the week, and giving out some of our awards according to the standards that we have set. And we'll go into projected winners of next week and maybe next week's lineup.
But first, the news.
Saints placed Michael Thomas on the 3-week IR for a high ankle sprain. I really like the fact that IR is 3 weeks this year. It should be a little bit different because of COVID, but that's something that I think should stay.
It is going to help shorter breaks. I mean, like somebody that would be out for 6 to 8 weeks because of the IR is now only a 3-week. You don't have to wait as long to see these players come back, so that will help. With that being said, Niners Richard Sherman placed on IR for his leg, 3 weeks minimum. So another player.
Yeah, that definitely helps the bench spots in fantasy.
They've lost 2 players in that San Francisco defense now, so defense is starting to have holes.
That's right, and they still haven't fielded their entire receiver core as what is supposed to go on their depth chart.
Yeah.
Speaking of the receiver core, Mohamed Sanu has signed with the 49ers. It's a small 1-year contract, I believe, and they're just plagued by injuries. They're trying to fill those holes.
Can we say not fantasy relevant?
Yes. Yeah. That helps no one.
So this morning I log on to Twitter, and I have this Twitter account purely just for football. It's attached to players and stuff like that, so I can get news right away to help myself beat you guys, right? So Allen Robinson has removed everything on his Twitter account from about being part of the Bears. So, like, he is not, it doesn't even say that he's part of Chicago Bears on there. And This morning it said, there was an article that said that he had requested for a trade. And then later in this afternoon, a response from his agent came out stating that they had not asked for a trade, but now he just wants a contract. So it's all chess pieces being moved around. I mean, right?
Oh man, what a mess. Yeah, what a mess. Speaking of a mess, Le'Veon Bell's placed on IR. Those poor Jets, they just can't catch a break. I personally didn't have a very high ceiling for Le'Veon this year, but it's definitely a blow to their offense.
Adam Gase is so happy he gets Frank Gore as his running back again. The Infinity Stone is still alive. I mean, what is he, 36 at this point? So
I think so, yeah. Oof. Future Hall of Famer, I think.
Oh, definitely. First year, sir. He'd be a first ballot. So, Chris Godwin on the concussion protocol this week. Shame to see. He came out late in the game, I guess. So, will miss week 2. Definitely. Hopefully he gets back sooner after that.
Hate to see it.
Scotty Miller, good pickup.
Yeah, for week 2 for sure.
And now it's time to go over this week's war and hand out our rewards. First matchup on the list is a repeat of last year's championship matchup, which was a much better matchup then.
All right, first off, we need a moment of silence for our manager missing in action this week. Has anyone seen Martin? Is he out there somewhere? Please call his mommy. she needs to know where he's at. He was the recipient of the dishonorable performance of the week for scoring the least amount against any opponent, or just in general for the week. He is also part of the biggest blowout because he went against SC Slave Runners, who gets the Bronze Star Medal for highest score and biggest blowout of the week. This is a brutal one, John. Congratulations.
I take a big bow because this manager I played against was literally MIA. I mean, he went AWOL, and they're sending out people to look for this guy because he was nowhere to be found on Sunday. So,
75 points is a pretty big margin of defeat there.
and so I mean, I know this is only week 1, but I was staring at record books because they opened up yesterday on the 15th, and it was quite awesome. This is not far off of biggest blowout overall time since our league started, and that was well, I'll say it doubled this. So it doubled. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but
yeah, and well, you had 3 players that scored over 30. He had 2 players that scored over, or 3 players that scored over 20. So that can tell you the discrepancy of the scoring there. It was brutal. He had no chance.
Well, it's hard. He had a kicker spot. He had a kicker spot open, and it's funny because before the kicker spot, it was a defensive player spot, and I called him multiple times. I said, "Hey, fill that spot," and he filled the defensive spot, and then all of a sudden the kicker spot went empty. So I don't know if he was just messing with me or what he was trying to do.
Well, I do have to say he filled that defensive spot with KJ Wright that scored 4. So his empty kicker spot almost scored just as much. So I don't know if that was going to make a difference.
No, there's no help in that. So there's definitely no help in that. Our next matchup is Stonewall Your Face versus Union Ambush. And this was a pretty good game, 173 points to 223.75. Union Ambush dominated with a 50.75 point difference. He was the second highest points of the week and had a pretty good matchup. He was definitely much better than we expected, but the sad truth, he lost Michael Thomas this week for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, he did. He just had some players that scored phenomenally. I mean, Adam Thielen with 30 points, Baltimore defense with 39 points. They just took it to Cleveland. And Jamal Adams with 28. You know, his keepers and his draft played really well. Stonewall Your Face had Devontae Adams with 34 points, but after that, it really wasn't much else. I mean, it was consistent. It wasn't horrible, but I mean, I feel bad. It just feels like his team didn't show up for him, even though he still scored 173 points, which isn't too bad. But
this was a team we pegged that needed some running back help this year.
Absolutely.
So he definitely has some single digits in those positions. But, I mean, yeah, Union Ambush's team, Jose, he showed up. But sadly, Chris Godwin and Michael Thomas both gone next week.
Gone. So we'll have to see.
He's going to have a rough next week.
And on his bench right now, he's got A.J. Green and Marvin Jones. We'll have to see how those guys do next week. All right. Our next matchup is 3 Sheets to the Wind versus Can't Cut the Custard. Can't Cut the Custard gets the win, scoring 216.6 points, and 3 Sheets takes the loss with scoring 192.7 for a 23.9 scoring differential, 4th highest of the week. Man, what do you think about this one?
Andy put up a good win. I mean, like, I know it's not our closest game, but when I stared at these, this was the one that came out and jumped out as the closest matchup. I mean, both teams were very solid, and 3 Sheets to the Wind played much better than I projected. And it was those running backs and no fear in them. Aaron Jones, Todd Gurley, 15.5, 17.8. They played really well. Matt Ryan carried that team with 32.6 points. So, and that sneaky Indianapolis defense that you like so much, 24.5 points.
Yeah,
so,
that too. And then Mark Andrews, 20 points, the 2 touchdowns he pulled in.
Yeah.
You know, those are the lead. Now, meanwhile, Can't Cut the Custard. Russell Wilson put up 42.6 points, led the way in his team for sure. And then after that's Buffalo, Budda Baker. Buffalo with 33 points, Budda Baker with 25 points, and Chris Carson with 22 points, Julio Jones with 20 points. I mean, when you've got guys showing up like that, and everybody else still puts up single to double-ish digits, it's hard to lose.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, Andy's got a very solid team. We had him projected very well in our power rankings, and this is a team to worry about. I mean, they all showed up. Look at that. I mean, he lost Le'Veon Bell, 6 points. He had 6.8 points this week, but
yeah,
I mean, he's got the bench spots to fill it. He's got Juju on the bench. He's got Kareem Hunt on the bench. I mean, I'm not worried for him. He's going to do really well.
Not worried for him at all.
Our next matchup. This is your matchup, and you played my wife. Boston Teabaggers, 175.35. Uterus S. Grant, 227 points. This was the third highest points scored against you this week, 45.35 differential. That's a big blowout. I mean,
Owie.
yeah, a little bit. I mean, but
Can you please take the paddle away from your wife? My ass is very sore.
oh no, break away from me is something I need. So she's got a studly team. I mean, Josh Allen, he had a career day, 38.1 points. Amari Cooper, she was worried about him, 13 points. Calvin Ridley, 29.6 points. When you cover Julio, where is there to throw? Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel Elliott, 30.6 points. Austin Eckler, 13 points. She's got a pretty studly team. And her defense, 34 from Pittsburgh. And Shaq Barrett, no sacks, 8 points on the day. Something we were concerned about, just three tackles solo. So hopefully we see a little more out of him this year. But even on her bench, she's got Ezekiel Elliott, or she's got Eric Kendricks. She could have rotated him in. So
19 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team just didn't show. Quarterback scored 26.245. Tom Brady, AJ Brown 6.4. Keenan Allen 5.7. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was my bright spot on the day, 24.8. And then my defense carried me the rest of the way, scoring double digits for each one, even though my second highest scoring defensive player, Patrick Queen, scored 20 points off of my bench, but that wouldn't have made much difference. That would have only been 3 points maximum. I got my ass handed to me. It was brutal. I still think I have a strong team, and I'm just hoping that this week one was a fluke because of the fact that there was no preseason and there's still miscommunications going on. But as Tampa goes, I will go. We'll find out and see how that goes.
Shake off that week one and move forward. Tampa's got a good matchup against Carolina next week, so I'd look forward to it.
That's right. Oh man, that's right. And our next matchup are the Lincoln Renegades versus Rogers Hard War. Lincoln's Renegades with 173.5, and the Rogers Hard War scored 59.3 for the second lowest total of the week. And we're going to give him the Purple Heart of the week because it was the closest game and he lost it. So he's going to get the Purple Heart. And meanwhile, we're also going to give Jared the Minuteman Award for the biggest surprise win of the week. We did not at all expect Jared to win this game. He pulled it out for sure. It is 14.2 points differential, and it is definitely the biggest surprise of the week. What do you think?
I agree. I was very surprised by this award. Wanted to come up with a surprise award for him. I think he totally deserves it. He pulled out a win and defeated a very strong team to do it. So
yeah,
it's a very good game for him.
And I think the difference here is just Lamar Jackson. That is the difference here on the team. He had Lamar Jackson scoring 38.65 and New Orleans defense scoring 35.95, and that pretty much carried the rest of his team. He had double digits, but low double digits, and plenty of single digits. And, Raj's side wasn't much better.
I mean, we did say that his defensive players who would put up double digits, and his quarterback would carry this team to at least 7th place. So,
Yeah, well, looking like it.
yeah, it's very possible. He did it last year, and he could do it again.
All right. So, this week being the first week of competitive waivers, we will be having our Treasure Hunter of the Week segment next week. We're going to go into that segment and we're going to talk about whose waiver wire pickup performed the best in that following week. That is a segment that we will be continuing throughout the year, and I'm looking forward to that. It should be a lot of fun to see who's actually performing and going through. I think that we have a couple candidates of that this week. Who do you think they might be?
I mean, there's some studly candidates in there. I mean, yours first and foremost was the first one, OJ Howard. I mean, tight ends aren't flashy, but I think that was a very good pickup. He's going to be the tight end that Brady feels safe to. Yes, Gronk is there, but Gronk is there to train a new guy, so hand the reins over. Next guy on the list was Darius Slayton. He had a phenomenal day, and if Danny Dimes can keep it up, I mean that is a really good candidate for Treasure Hunter of the Week. And that was 3 sheets to the wind. And my last guess would be Lincoln's Renegades with Robbie Anderson. Not even his first waiver. This was his second waiver. So very good pickup. But there's also a dark horse on that. So
Yeah,
Scotty Miller was another good pickup.
Scotty Miller, I think, is a dark horse. I think the forerunner for me is Jerome Baker, linebacker from Miami. He was my second waiver wire pickup. Man had 13 tackles. Now, granted, all that the Patriots are doing is running the ball, but 13 tackles in a game is nothing to shy away from. That would be 26 points on it by itself, and then he had 5 partial tackles after that. So we'll see how that shakes out. I did move him up into my starting lineup.
Phenomenal pickup, and to be honest, tackles is what does it for us. So, and
That's right.
that is very consistent. So I like it. But who does Miami play next week?
Buffalo, which is a running team. So
that's going to be a really good matchup. Another running team to play against. So, and it is going to be raining. The weather says so.
That's right.
I like it. Defense gets his fumbles too. Look at that. Turnovers. So that's a very good one.
He had a forced fumble, a sack, and a tackle for loss. So he was on fire the whole game. We'll see how that works out.
Well, there's some very good pickups in that bunch there, and I do like it. I mean, we'll see who plays out for this week. So we'll watch it on Sunday, and we'll have an award for next week. Next up, we have our week 2 matchups. Just to brush over who's playing who for this next week.
Yeah.
Our first matchup is SC Slave Runners playing against Can't Cut the Custard.
That's going to be an interesting matchup, yeah. I think that you're going to take it. It's the 3rd versus 4th place team at this point, and I don't think he's going to be 4th for long. The matchup after that is Stonewall Your Face versus Uterus S. Grant.
This is a very close matchup, and this is what we have pegged as our game of the week. I mean, this is when you have matchups that are projected this close. These are the fun ones to watch because it comes down to those nail-biting moments and who gets what tackle, who gets what yard. We have 2nd place versus 8th place, so it's going to be a good one. Our next matchup is 3 sheets to the wind versus Union Ambush. 1st place, Union Ambush versus 6th place. It's it doesn't look as close as it should be for somebody ranked 1st place, but he's got some people out. He needs to swap some people in. I think it'll be a little closer than the scoreboard's projecting.
I think so. I think he doesn't have a kicker position, and the kicker that he has on his bench will give him 8 more points, which will put the point differential within 3 points. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Union Ambush hopefully has some players that will show up for him solid like they did last week, and hopefully a few players for 3 sheets don't go MIA like they did last, and it should be a pretty close matchup.
Yeah.
The next matchup is the Boston Teabaggers, my team, basically Tampa Bay, versus Rogers Hard War, basically Dallas Cowboys. What do you think, John?
I think I'm rooting Tampa Bay over Dallas Cowboys here. 209 versus 202. I mean, it's a 7-point differential in their projections, but you know me, I'm going to root Bucks, Bucks, Bucks. Fire them cannons, baby. Our next and our final matchup is Lincoln's Renegades versus Yankee Raiders. This is going to be a phenomenal matchup. 5th place versus 10th place. I mean, I know when you hear 5th and 10th, you don't think anything special, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a good matchup. Yankee Raiders is going to come off of the biggest blowout and recover and see if he can take back a win, while Lincoln's Renegades needs to hold on to the victory he has and see if he can eke out another one. What do you think, Daniel?
Oh man, well, it depends on how Lamar Jackson and the defense does for Lincoln's Renegades, and it also depends if our MIA manager decides to fill in all his spots this week. That's definitely going to help the competition. So we'll see how it is. If Yankee Raiders pulls it off and goes from the worst scoring team of the week into a win the next week, he will have earned our Prisoner of War medal. So we'll see how that goes. It's prestigious and it is rare. We'll have to see.
Let's see if our AWOL manager has the gruff to come back and take back a victory and hold himself in it. But I think the quarterback and the IDP across from him might just hold him down. So that's going to be an interesting one.
I think it's going to be close.
Thanks again for marching with us. Stay tuned to next week to hear who beat who won the next awards in combat, and who win MIA. Congratulations to our winners, and keep on the good fight. And always remember,
stay vigilant, soldiers.